Hello, this is Angelia with today's wisdom. Today's wisdom comes from Daily Ohm, underneath the noise, hearing the whisper. You may have noticed that if you want to speak to someone in a noisy, crowded room, the best thing to do is to lean close and whisper. And of course it is, because otherwise they're not going to hear you. And my husband and one of my sons has hearing problems, and sometimes, you have to get very close and, just talk to them. Yelling in an attempt to be louder than the room's noise generally only hurts your throat and adds to the chaos, and that's definitely true. I complain every now and then when we're in a loud place or whatever, and I have to yell so loud, to be heard. He's like, "Will you get a soft little light voice?" Well, yeah, I know, so you should try harder to hear me. See? But yeah, a lot of times, trying to yell to get heard, it hurts your throat, and people don't think about that. They're just like, speak louder. Well, what about my throat, Get hearing aids, that would help, My father's bad about that. He can't hardly understand what I'm saying at all, but it's the way I talk. It's not him. He doesn't need hearing aids. It's the way I talk. So, whatever. Similarly, that still small voice within each of us does not try to compete with the mental chatter on the surface of our minds. Because, your inner voice, it kind of is more chill than all the monkey chatter and all the stuff going on out in the world. Nor does it attempt to overpower the volume of the raucous world outside, because that's not how it works. It's not how it does. If we want to hear it, no matter what is going on around us or even inside us, we can always tune in to that soft voice underneath the surrounding noise. And that's the best thing you can do, is take a breath, take a step back out of whatever's going on that's, noisy and all, and maybe meditate, but listen to that inner voice of yours, which I like to call, the voice of God, because it's your soul, part of your soul, which came from Him, and it can give you some guidance. It is generally true that the more insistent voices in our heads delivering messages that make us feel panicky or afraid are of questionable authority, because these thoughts that have no basis, that are just causing you stress or anxiety or depression, they're usually from the other team. They're usually not from God. They're someone trying to make you worry and have bad thoughts. Yeah, so those are the ones you don't want to listen to. They may be voices we internalize from childhood, because, if you had parents who said mean things about you, you're this, you're that, you're only good about this and blah, blah, blah. And so we internalize that, because children learn what they live, and they do internalize everything. So if you got bad messages growing up, then chances are, unless you've done your head work and your heart work, those messages are still replaying in your head anytime there's something that triggers you or reinforces the thing that was said to you. Or from the culture. And again, culture plays a role in all of our upbringings. And there are different cultures that believe different things. So, you can't across the board say that this is this way for everyone, because culture always plays a role in things. And as such, they possess only half-truths. So, everyone can have an opinion about you, but you should know who you are and what the truth about you is. If you don't, my advice is go to therapy and get that figured out. Because people can say a lot of things about you. I've heard things about me that I know are 100% not true. But yet people have devised this opinion and put it out there. So, that of course hurts your feelings, because you're like, because that's not you. But like I said, everybody's got, my father used to have a saying, is It's kind of nasty. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. And sometimes they're stinky. And so, you know, or sometimes they stink, in other words. Uh, you know, I try to put things a little more delicately than he did. But their urgency stems from their disconnectedness from the center of our being. Because, it's a panic thing. They're trying to make us panic. They want us to worry. They want us to be anxious and depressed because then we're knocked off balance and we can't be doing good things if we're in this bad mode. And their urgency is what catches our attention. So, they're getting that attention that they want to keep your attention off of the good things. The other voices that whispers reassurances that everything is fundamentally okay simply delivers its message with quiet confidence. And that's the one you need to listen to. The other voices are louder, more insistent, but that quiet, everything's going to be fine, everything's okay. That's the one you need to listen to. Because the still small voice is the one that comes, from the higher power and actually knows what it's talking about. Once we hear it, we know it speaks the truth. Because our soul knows what's true and what's not true. And people can try to fool you or, trick you or, just be mean to you in general. But inside, you kind of know what's true and what's not true. Generally, once we have heard what it has to say, a powerful sense of calm settles over our entire being. And that's the moment, like, I was upset earlier today because I had to get different insurance because they changed the statutes here. And I lost my good insurance to pay for everything. And now I'm paying for a policy that is more than I can afford. I don't make that much money a year to pay for this policy. If I didn't have a husband that was helping me out, I'd be just SOL. And now there are drugs that I take that I can't afford to pay for. I found out how much one of mine was going to be, and it was like $20 more than we could afford to pay. So I'm talking to my doctor now about seeing what we can do and figure something out. But yeah, that's definitely a source of stress. And catastrophe, in the brain, what's going to happen and all this is bad and blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, I heard, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. There are alternatives. There, are other drugs. There are ways. It's going to be okay. It'll work out. And then I decided, all right, I'm going to listen to you. Because this other stuff's bad. And the other voices and sounds, once so dominant, fade into the background, suddenly seeming small and far away. Because they only have the power that you give them. Think about that one. They only have the power that you give them. We may find that our own communications in the world begin to be influenced by the quiet certainty of this voice. Because you start to see things through that way and not the world's way of being. We may be less inclined to indulge in idle chatter as we become more interested in maintaining our connection to the whisper of truth that broadcasts its message like the sound of the wind shaking the leaves of a tree. And I have found that to be so in my life. And there are people who have tried to engage me in idle chatter and they don't get a lot. I'm like, yeah, no, and they think I'm being unfriendly. But it's not that I'm being unfriendly. It's that what you're saying to me, you're talking about worldly things and gossipy things, and I don't care about that. That doesn't matter to me. I'm being polite by listening to you and responding, but, not so concerned with that. I'm concerned with what I got going on, and what I'm doing, because I've been given a task, and that's what I'm doing. as we align ourselves more with this quiet confidence, we become an extension of the whisper, penetrating the noise of the world and creating more peace, trust, and confidence. And of course, that is my goal right there. You know, I'm trying to help you find some peace in the Lord, find some trust in yourself, you know, some confidence in yourself, you know, especially if that was never fostered in you coming up. So remember, underneath all the noise of the world and the little monkey mind chatter going on in there, there's a small, still voice that has a little quiet whisper that's looking out for you and is going to tell you the right stuff. Think about it. Please like and share this wisdom so we can spread it around the world. If you want to help me out, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. If you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron. That's all for now. Until next time.